Good evening, welcome. I just got to adjust the camera a little bit here. I noticed the video from yesterday was a little bit crackly, so I thought I'd just do another live stream just to see how it goes. There's no one watching, of course, but that's life. If nobody is here, I'll come back in a minute and replay it and see if the crackling's gone or not. So if I sit back, that's not bad. Yeah, but anyway, I was just going to talk about the virus situation here in Victoria, or in Australia for that matter. Most of the country is opening back up. Just talk about it briefly, obviously, but everybody seems to be opening back up except for here in Victoria, as I said yesterday. And I'm not all over the news today. I can tell you more about the states opening back up than I can about Victoria insisting to keep us closed down. So, be nice if there was somebody that could tell me exactly what it's all about. As I said in the title, it's a bit of a chat and a test for this camera. But the last I heard is they're going to assess the situation in July. That's a fair while away. The local council's got the dog parks closed. I don't understand that. You think they would open them up so you could take your dogs in there and let them have a run around. Anyway, I don't make the rules. I just pay them money all the time and get shafted, basically. Well, that's what it feels like anyway. Rubbish collection, that's about it. The rest of it you don't really see. But anyway, this thing up here on the left keeps popping up saying there's one person watching, then it goes back to 0. So I'm not sure if anybody's there or not, but if they are, they can say something in the chat. That would be great. I just, like I say, basically, I just want to see if this webcam is okay. It was like the last video, it was crackling, so I don't know what's going on. Whether it might have been my phone. I actually didn't have enough time to listen to it back on this computer before I started this. But that's life. Just waffling on about the virus. I'm probably a little bit sick of it. I mean, a lot of countries around the world are doing it a lot tougher than we are. I think it's terrible, but I think there's only been 90-something deaths, and 90% of them have been over 70 sort of thing. So, the common flu, as I understand it, kills a lot of people. I think it kills a huge amount in the USA every year, but you never hear about it, I don't know. There's been a lot of deaths in the Northern Hemisphere, and everybody thinks because it's now our turn for winter, we're going to get it bad, but I don't think so. I mean, it doesn't get as cold here as a lot of places in the Northern Hemisphere. Like places like the UK and northern parts of the USA, Canada, those sort of places. I'm not sure about Italy. I'm not don't know much about over there, but I haven't heard much mentioned about Italy recently. So that usually tells you, the media is usually full of doom and gloom. They love to report death and danger. So they just, I haven't heard much about Italy or Spain, so I'm assuming they're on the mend. And I think there's only been like 6,500 cases in total in Australia. I'm not sure how that goes per head per million. I mean, there's only 25.5 million people in this country, so it's not very many. I mean, the lockdown doesn't bother me too bad, but just a little update from yesterday. I think I told you I've got an ad out there and looking for places to camp, a private place. I mean, I don't know why people would want to respond to me to offer me something for free. I mean, why do they want me on their property? But, like I say, guys that you're watching around the world seem to have permissions to go on land. So I'm not sure how that came about, whether they know somebody that knows somebody, or I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Probably if I think the ad lasts, it's just a free ad. It's had a couple of hundred views. I think it lasts for a couple of months. If I don't get any replies in 2 months, then I don't know. Back to the drawing board. As far as camping goes, I don't know. I'll do some research on the computer maybe, and I could go to places for camping, but you're not allowed to go anywhere. According to what I hear about the Victorian government, we're not allowed to go anywhere, for another couple of months. Till July, and that's only a reassess. So, I get the impression that they're waiting for a vaccine before they'll open everything back up. But I mean, why don't they close supermarkets? Why don't they shut the whole place down then? Then that'll guarantee that, we'll all starve because we can't go out, but the virus won't spread. Guarantee that. I mean. There's a lot of racket coming from the teachers or something. They don't, someone will probably, I'm just saying from what I've heard, and if someone's got another opinion, that's fine, let me know. They don't want to go back to school teaching the kids because they're afraid of the virus or something. Well, I think that's a load of bullshit, because I think the most people in the front line of this virus are the people that work in the supermarkets, the checkout chicks. They're coming into contact with the general public all day, every day, and we don't hear anything about all of them coming down with the virus. Like I said, that's just my observation. But like I say, there's nothing you can do about it. Just stay at home. I mean, some states, I'm not sure if it's Queensland or New South Wales, probably is one of those two, because that's about all we hear of here in Victoria is Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland. The rest of them sort of on the back burner. One of them's only allowed to drive for 50 kilometres from their house or something. I mean, for peace sake. 50 kilometres, 500 kilometres, what's the difference? Maybe their logic is they think you're going to take the virus, 500 kilometres away or something. I mean, down where I am in East Gippsland, I don't think there's hardly any evidence of it. They could shut East Gippsland off to anyone coming in and let us run free. I mean, that's what they did over in Western Australia. They had zones within the state, as far as I know. And you had to have a reason to, they had checkpoints set up with the cops and all that stuff, and all trucks were just let straight through, obviously, but, you had to live in the area or something to that description, or, have a purpose for going. So I actually haven't been out for quite a while. I've had no reason to, except for a bit of exercise with the dog. But, yeah. Anyway, what are we up to? 9 minutes. Yes, but there's no real news on anything today. We're just sort of, I mean, even these lockdowns, when you go out, I probably said yesterday, it's just, there's no real, maybe just a little bit less traffic and people around, just a little bit, like there's still a lot of people around. So I don't know how it works. I mean, I'm not the expert. I don't get paid $1 million a year to sit up there in Canberra and tell people that they can't go to cafes and all that sort of stuff. So what do I know? I'm just an observer, you know, just an observer. And like I say, I've only got one vote, so that's all you can do, and just live it up. So, all right, well, that's about all I'm going to do today. I'm talking like I'm talking to other people, but there's nobody watching, so, but that's cool. I'm talking like there is people there, just in case other people, you know, want to come in and have a bit of a look at a later point. You know, leave some messages, comments if you want to talk about something in the future. No stress. We'll come back at a later date. But until then, we'll say goodbye and good on you. See you later. Cheers. End. Yes, I want to end.